after I got the lead, I just kind of cruised it on in. I mean, it was a tough cruise. It wasn't easy by any means.
Yeah, it was scary with my teammate Justin. It was one of those things where I wasn't sure what to do. I had been jumping those 2 doubles, and he didn't that lap, and I had just fallen, so I was getting up all panicked, and he went down the middle, and I went far right, and as you know, in the mud, you're all over the place, and he kind of dipped a little right, and yeah, it was probably inches from hitting him. I had a panic rev going, and he ducked, and I probably missed him by a millimeter, and definitely not trying to do that.
What's that mindset on the last lap to bring it up that much? You know what I mean? We see you, obviously, everybody talks about Cooper Webb's good at the end, but that was like a full flip of a switch, and for the lack of a better phrase, it looked like do or die to me a little bit.
It was definitely a do or die situation. I think once, like I said, I ended up falling twice, so once I finally got up and regrouped, it was almost like a F it attitude, and just kind of charged forward. I stayed jumping those jumps, which saved me, and I saw like 3 to go. I saw 4, and it was just kind of like blood in the water, but it's hard because it's not a normal race. It's not fitness or, how bad do you want it or anything like that. You got to be smart and also fast and efficient and dodge lappers, and my clutch was gone, so it's hectic. So I think it was a mix of all that, but like you said, a do or die situation where I figured if I could get him, it's going to be a good swing on the points. And I ended up getting him and JB, and then I didn't even know what happened to Kenny. I just know I went from literally like 7th to 3rd somehow in a matter of like 2 laps.
Yeah, San Diego was a little muddy. This was a whole different breed. Man, like Shane said, when the rain stopped, the mud just tacked up, and it got so heavy, and it was almost like when your foot touched the ground, it almost wanted to stick there. And so it was really, really important to, if you had skis out, keep them right above the mud. And I know in the heat race, my dad was texting my wife telling me to stand up, and I wish he was here because that was it was a lot harder of a task than any other old mud race. Honestly, today doesn't feel like a real Supercross because we only had one practice. We were sitting around till about 1:30, and yeah, it just feels like a weird day. But that main event really took it out of me. I'm pretty tired now, and yeah, I'm gonna go rest up tonight and rest happy.
All the teams that are ahead of us are full factory teams with full personnel, and we're kind of the little engine that could. So this year, like we've had super steady growth. I think the communication's getting better. Our resources are really good, and we're just a small team, and we don't really get to do things as fast. So that's really, for me, trying to be patient with the changes that I'm requesting, and it's like sometimes it might take 2 weeks for something to get done, and that's what we're working on, but that's also kind of what we're dealt with. So that was like this week, really working mentally. It's like, hey, we've got to unlock something to find a few more tenths or a half a second, because that next group, the guys are just getting better, and that's where it's like I believe that I'm one of those guys, but we gotta continue striving. And tonight was a good opportunity to get a podium, but I'm gonna keep working because I want to do this in a normal Supercross too.
Yeah, I don't even really know where to start there. First off, racing all last year with no ACL in my knee. Really only doing 8 races my rookie year, so I had to do a lot of catch up last year, and then missing out on Motocross of Nations last year with my knee, and the rest of SMX. Got that fixed, and the goal was just to possibly make Tampa, or come halfway through the series. So yeah, once we got to Tampa, it was just like, all right, let's learn each weekend, and let's see what we can do. And clicked off my best finish of my career at Daytona with a 4th, and it kind of went downhill for me after that. I think I was just getting too greedy with what I wanted, and having really only 2 weeks on the bike before Tampa didn't help at all. So, and especially with the new bike this year, it's quite a bit different than last year's bike. So on top of getting my personal health back to 100%, it's also I'm trying to develop a new bike So I had a good team behind me, and we worked our butts off to get where we're at right now. And hopefully this is just the start of a good trend going forward.
Yeah, for me, it was honestly last year, probably right around this time, I'd say I hit rock bottom in my career, and even off the track. I was in a dark place. I got hurt at round 1 last year, and I felt like I was in a good spot. And so to get hurt at round 1 and then have nothing to show for it, it was just a huge bummer for me. So yeah, and then I almost didn't even have a ride this year and got signed, and my first day on the bike was, I think, January 1st. So little prep, and dude, I have a very small group of people around me that's in my corner that I really lean on. And so yeah, I mean, for me to cross that finish line, I'll be honest, on the last lap I was like, dude, just don't mess this up at this point. Like, holy crap, I made it this far. And I didn't know like where third was either. I didn't even know who was in third because the pylon thing was shut off during the race, so I didn't know anything. And I knew I was in second, and yeah, the track's treacherous, so I was just trying to stay up. And when I crossed that finish line, I was trying to blow my bike up. I'll be honest, I was gassed up, and it was for second. It was kind of lame, but I was stoked.
Definitely not an ideal season last year, and I was tired of being the guy who was a 9th place in a heat race and possibly an LCQ guy. I didn't like that feeling, and we worked really hard on that this off season. And yeah, even all the rounds before this, like I say I felt better, but I've still been the 7th, 8th place guy. And yeah, my finishes have not been good at all. No, the main event, I went down in the first turn, and I was really close to just pulling in. Like, as a privateer, I didn't want to destroy my bike for next weekend. But, I said I can't quit. And I had no clue what position I was in the whole race. My mechanic, we didn't even use the pit board, and he gave me hand signals, believe it or not. And I came around, and he just gave me thumbs down in the first lap. And after that, he started giving me thumbs up. And the last 4 laps, I knew I passed some people. And my best career finish has been 11. So, like, my goal was, like, I got to get top 10. So when I crossed the line, I thought, okay, maybe I'm close to the 10th mark. And the last 3 laps, he just didn't even, like, give me no signals. So I'm like, well, we'll just, go for it for there. And I came off, and they told me that I was in 3rd, and it was, like, I still can't believe it.
So you didn't know you were in 3rd until you, like, went to your mechanic?
Yeah, until the checkered flag. I thought, like, I was hoping for a 10th place. Like, I knew I passed some guys. I didn't know how many, so I was really hoping for maybe a top 10, and that would have been a win in my book. So
I ripped the start, and the last time I was here in Foxborough, I pulled the whole shot and led my first ever lap of my career. So just had a good vibe, and I was sitting there on the gate like, dude, it's going to come down to the start. And like I said, came out second, and there for a second, I'm like, dude, I got a shot to win this thing. And Chance kind of blew past me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe I don't have a shot to win, but
before going to the main event, I even, questioned racing because is it worth, messing the bike up and not having the resources to get it finished for next weekend? But yeah, I can't lie, that was kind of contemplating my mind. And then after the crash in the first turn, it was really close to, calling it and saving the bike. And yeah, no, I knew I couldn't do that. I can't quit. And so yeah, but no, it's huge as a privateer to make the bikes go all season because, like you said, we don't have the resources to get engines and stuff like that. So.